So, a lot of times people don't know what counseling is. They think we go in there, we hug it out, we sit around a campfire singing Kumbaya or something. It's not what we do all the time. So, I want to go over this with you. How do I start this thing? Just hit that button there? All right, so this is Joe. Joe is going to represent my story. I'm going to tell you a story about somebody. This guy probably grew up to be a handsome-looking guy, too, by the way, just to let you know. But Joe's 19 years old. He's getting ready to go off to war, first time away from home. War's kind of boring. You're out on patrol, you're at overwatch position, you're kicking in doors. It's not real glamorous, right? Patrol again. Well, then shit gets real. People start getting shot at. People start getting firefights, become more intense. People start getting hurt. Your friends start getting hurt. Your buddies, you got to walk them off the battlefield, right? You got to take civilians off the battlefield. And then that first guy dies, your friend. Your company, they talk about it. We pray. And then we go back out the next day and kick in doors again. We're out there hitting the bad guys. We got to go back out there on patrol. We got to go back out there to another firefight. Our buddies are still getting hurt. We're pulling them off the battlefield. It's not a good time. More civilians are getting hurt. They're not combatants. We don't know where the enemy's at. Our friends, kids are getting hurt. And again, more people die. More people in your unit are dead. And we go back out there and do it again. We got to go kick in doors. We got to go look for the bad guy. We got to go back on patrol. We got to see, hey, where's this enemy at? We don't know. It looks like crap out there, right? You don't know what's around that corner. Friends are still getting hurt. It's a bad time. And then guess what? It's time to go home. Hey, it's awesome. We got to go home. Everyone loves us. At the airports, people are cheering us as we come in. We see our wife, it's great. We see kids sometimes for the very first time. People want to hang out with us. Well, there's your buddy. They didn't make it. That's your best friend right there. But your other friends will want to hang out with you. Let's go have some beers. It's awesome. Let's go hang out. You go do that. You're the life of the party. And the Army says, rinse and repeat. And we do it over and over and over again. You go out there, you're on patrol, you're taking shots, you're having a firefight, people are getting hurt, people are getting killed. You come home, you see your family, you do it all over again. 2, 3, 4, 5 times sometimes. I did it 4 times. And then sometimes, you're not the same when you come back. It's not as fun to be drinking anymore. You're having a bad time, you're pushing people away. Your wife's not there anymore, your kids aren't there anymore. You've alienated everybody. You can't think of nothing else to do. You're drinking more. You're doing drugs. There's nothing left. What can you do? This guy, fortunately, Joe made it. Somebody reached out to Joe and said, hey, Joe, you need help. Let's go, buddy. You're my brother. You're my brother. Let's go. Let's go talk to somebody. So we're going to talk to a psychiatrist. And the psychiatrist is going to say, hey, I need medication for this guy. He's got to go to sleep. He hasn't slept in 6 months. He also has nightmares every night. We've got to give some mini press for his nightmares. We've got to stop those. And then we're going to talk about it. We are going to talk about what's going on. We're going to talk about what happened. What did you smell? What did you see? What did you do? What did you hear? What did it taste like? How did you feel? We have to hear your story. We're going to make you talk about it. We're going to use what we call cognitive processing therapy, CPT. CPT makes you talk about it. We would write it down. You've got to get that story out. I was talking to a Navy SEAL one day, and he was telling me a story, and he was crying. And he said, Carlos, I've never told that to anybody. This guy served in Vietnam. He held on to that story for 35 years. Never told anybody. 2 weeks later, he shot himself. Had that person talked to somebody, maybe he'd been okay. This is EMDR. EMDR stands for eye movement, desensitization, and reprocessing. Finger movement, eye movement, kind of what Barb does. So what we do is we take that emotional trauma away from the thought. We all have bad thoughts, but we don't cry about it. We can't not drive our car anymore because we're afraid to do it. So we have to do things called EMDR. We need to take that emotion away from that thought. So the next time I see my kid, I won't be upset because I had to shoot a kid so I wouldn't get shot in Iraq. This is what we do at the Family Care Center. This is the story of a soldier because it's easy for me to relate to. This is the cycle of mental health. This could be somebody with depression. Somebody with depression can start at the top, spiral out of control, all the way down to the same situation. If you know somebody who's got mental health issues, you've got to say, hey, brother, let's go get some help. You need to see somebody. 1 in 4, what is it, Aaron? 1 in 4 Americans? 1 in 4 people in the world have a mental health issue. 1 in 4. You know somebody who's got mental health issues. You need to make sure, wrap them up, and say, hey, let's go get some help. The Family Care Center sees more than just soldiers or veterans. We see kids. We see adult men and women. We see couples counseling. We see marriage counseling. We see anybody, right? Everybody, there's a cycle in mental health, and we want to make sure that we get to them before something bad happens, right? Preventative care. So I know my presentation can be a little heavy. I wanted to end it with some puppy dogs playing with some cats or something, but I don't have the technical expertise to do that. So I would just leave you with this. Please, again, if you know somebody, it's hard. It's painful for that person. Be a good human. Wrap your arm around them and help them get help. That's all I have. Thank you.